Good evening, I'm Jaime McCutcheon. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Well, a strong start for the Huskers today. Great running game, but things did get a little sloppy in the second half, making for a not so happy coach. Greg Ortiz joins us now live. And Greg, you know, I always just say any kind of win is good. It's a win.
Is Bo ever really happy, though?
Well, true.
No.
Happening locally live at 5, local breaking news. We've been following the search for a suspect after a high-speed chase that circled around the Midtown area and led to South Omaha. A foot chase through a metro neighborhood comes to a dramatic conclusion, complete with police dogs, tear gas, and 2 arrests. The incident actually happened on August 30th here at Logan Fontanelle Middle School in Bellevue. Now, Bellevue police tell me that 12-year-old girl says a man inappropriately touched her while she was standing in the hallway inside the school in front of her locker. Maybe you just need a fresh coat of paint on those walls. Well, there are a lot of choices out there, and making them all work together can be kind of intimidating. And here at Midtown Crossing, we're seeing a lot of these signs right now coming soon. Definitely a good thing economically for this area. Another restaurant coming soon is Crave. Good evening, I'm Jaime McCutcheon. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Happening locally live at 5, local breaking news. We've been following the search for a suspect after a high-speed chase that circled around the Midtown area and led to South Omaha. Emergency broadcasts indicated the person police were looking for was armed and dangerous. Jeff Sabin continues our coverage from 38th and I, where police recovered the suspect's vehicle. Now, Jeff, are officers still searching for anyone at this time? One of 4 suspects connected to the stabbing death of an Omaha pizza delivery man is out on bond and back in school. Marcus Robinson was attending Burke High School prior to his arrest. He will be resuming classes, but likely at an alternative school within the district. Attorneys for both he and suspect Larry Fountain say their clients are essentially good kids who made bad decisions. If that's true, what could be the consequences? John Chapman continues our coverage now live. John? This morning, the victim in last Friday's stabbing, Chris Taylor, was mourned by family and friends. Services for the 33-year-old Taylor were held at Holy Ghost Catholic Church. A large crowd streamed from the church following that service. Pallbearers carried the Taylor's casket to a waiting hearse. His family says he enjoyed hobbies like camping and hiking. Friends we spoke to say Taylor was a quiet person. Despite the fact he had been robbed on a previous occasion, he continued delivering pizzas. Investigators have called his death senseless and random, saying the teenagers accused of the crime did not even know Taylor. It appears they only wanted the money he was carrying. From the courts, we're following opening statements in the trial of an Omaha teenager accused of killing 2 people. Juan Castaneda was the first of 3 suspects to go to court accused in a crime spree that happened in November of 2008. A jury was seated this morning. Jody Baker has our coverage. We're keeping an eye on the Woodman Tower this afternoon as the mayor of Omaha, a state senator, and other local personalities go over the edge in support of scouting. They are among those who have pledged $1,000 to benefit Boy Scout programs in Omaha. In exchange, they are rappelling down the tower that you see right there, both today and tomorrow. A total of 68 participants have signed up. Prior to their journey down each person, including Mayor Suttle, they were given a training session. We know he was supposed to be the first one to go down. Looks like they're on the tower there, on the top of the tower, getting ready to start up. The event will resume again at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Spectators are welcome, and you can go and watch them rappel down that tower. Well, we hope everyone scheduled to go over that edge tonight is able to do so. Storms are threatening once again, but now it doesn't appear like they're going to arrive till a little bit later than first thought. Here's meteorologist Andrea Rich with a first look at our hour-by-hour forecast. Hi, Andrea. Hi. But tonight, so far, good news for those repellers. I'm sure the rain and the wind, not quite what they were expecting to go through.
No, that in the area.
Yeah, we don't need the mayor out in that.
No.
All right, thanks a lot, Andrea. Today, a funeral was held to say goodbye to a Nebraska soldier. Army First Lieutenant Mark Noziska was killed after an explosion in Afghanistan on August 30th. He attended high school at Papillion La Vista and graduated from UNO. Backpack journalist Leanne Mormon continues our coverage. At just 24 years old, Noziska will also be remembered for his accomplishments. In 2005, he was Soldier of the Year for Nebraska and was first runner-up nationwide. He was also named Mr. Monarch by Papillion La Vista High School his senior year. Get the jackets out and get them ready. All right, thanks, Andrea. Well, a test of gutter guards. Are they really worth the cost? We're going to tell you what our testers had to say. Up next, the reason some kids might suffer from asthma. It's a cause that might not be easily detected. This is Channel 6 News, live at 5. Even though they might not be overweight, children who have problems with their metabolism are at a greater risk for asthma. There can be many reasons for the disorder, some as simple as a bad diet and a lack of exercise. Good evening, I'm Jaime McCutcheon. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Well, it was a beautiful night for a packed Memorial Stadium. Thousands of Husker fans watching as Nebraska takes on South Dakota State University. Let's get right to the highlights. Greg Ortiz is here for that. And Greg, yeah, maybe not quite the game many people were expecting tonight.
Definitely not.
Now, at the end of these Husker games, we all always wait around to see what Pelini's going to say and see if his temper gets the best of him. Are you surprised that he kind of took it on himself tonight? About an hour and a half outside of Omaha, the crickets and grasshoppers are louder than the traffic. Farming equipment outnumbers buildings, and life moves with peace. Right now it's harvest time on the Bartling Brothers farm, and the corn is coming in.
Our family's been here in Nebraska our entire lives. We've had, my son will be the 5th generation. We grew up on this farm.
On this farm, two things rule: the crops and the pigs.
We have about 2,000 sows. We produce about 50,000 pigs a year.
But Jim Bartling and his brothers haven't always solely slopped the pigs for a living. A much faster-paced life once took them far from these Nebraska roots.
Actually, my first job was I was Solar Man on comic strip. I was a comic book hero.
After winning a national hunk contest in the 90s, Jim Bartling started getting modeling jobs, and his brothers Kurt and Chris soon followed.
Caught us off guard a little bit, but we were like, well, geez, if they want to see us, we'll just go ahead and go on out. It's a free trip. What the heck? About
the time we showed up in New York City, she said, well, I need somebody to replace Fabio. So we pretty much took over his position.
Romance novel cover shoots started taking the place of pig and crop farming.
It was funny because some of them barely looked like me. So I was like, is that me?
Then came the posters and the calendars and the fame.
We were in the Macy's Day Parade behind Dolores and Bob Hope. We had our own float.
People loved it. I don't know, they just loved where we came from, and they loved that we were down to earth.
Down to earth thanks to that farm planted firmly on Nebraska soil, and it's the farm that eventually called them home. All three brothers today work all 1,800 acres.
It used to be, when's the limo get here to pick us up? Now it's, when's the truck get here to haul the pigs?
A long way from the photo shoots and those New York City lights. But the Bartling brothers prefer the peace of Nebraska. Quite a change-up, isn't it? Well, farming is the brothers' mainstay now, but it was hit hard a few years ago by the swine flu, and it still hasn't recovered. Now, this is the website. Jim tells me they're working on developing their meat line, and we have a link to this on WOWT.com if you're interested. And he would also like to develop a hunting show one day, but modeling, that's going to stay in the past. Reporting live, Jaime McCutcheon, Channel 6 News.
Start off around 47 degrees.
Okay, even cooler.
So it's going to be cool.
It'll be nice, though. Perfect football weather.
Yeah, fall's a good season.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Have a great night and a great weekend.